Okay, and we're
Mhm.
live. So I want to introduce you guys to my friend Jess, who I met at HMI about 2 years ago now. And we wanted to start this episode out by asking Jess what got her into wanting to learn hypnotherapy, why HMI? It's a big commitment. It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. So why is that, Jess?
Well, basically, I started off. I remember one day I was feeling like crap emotionally, and I was like, you know what? I've always kind of felt very, like, not my best self. So I actually started researching, like, how to feel better. Because I knew that if I felt like crap now, that there'd be a way to change that, basically, right? So I started diving into like ways to change feeling bad. I mean, it literally started off that simple. And so I got into um, basically how do we reprogram our mind, right? Because our thoughts are connected to our emotions connected to our thoughts and our behaviors and all these things. So I started researching like basically reprogramming the mind. And then I started learning about the subconscious mind and how to reprogram that. And then I learned about hypnosis because through hypnosis, we can reprogram the subconscious mind and create change, which will lead to us feeling better and also creating better behaviors and beliefs, right? So basically that's how I started like diving into that, and then I was like, wow, hypnosis like is so powerful. So I actually got hypnosis done for myself because I had literally a breakdown in my bathroom, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I got to fix something, something's not right. So I contacted this lady who does hypnosis. I did some sessions with her, we did some inner child work, and I realized like, wow, there's a lot of trauma here that I have been avoiding because I didn't know any better not to, because it's just like survival, right? So I start basically it became an inner child journey and then inner child healing journey. And then I was like, well, hypnosis is so powerful. That'd be kind of cool to go to school for it. So years later, I had thought about it. And then it took me literally 2 years to get into school to actually like have the courage to sign up for it. And I was debating between a school in Tampa close to me now and then the HMI one, and I was doing research, and I just my intuition kept saying like go to HMI. So I was like, all right, that's the one. So that's how I got into HMI, because basically I started learning how to heal my inner child, and then that led me to hypnosis, which led me to school. And then I just thought about like, if I do HMI and I start learning hypnosis, one, it's going to help me, it's going to benefit my life, it's going to change my life, which I didn't really know how much it was actually going to change it because it was actually a lot. And then I was like, then I could use hypnosis to help other people change, their way of living so that they can feel more empowered, because I pretty much just feel like it's all about like self-empowerment, and it goes back to self-love, self-worth. And if we have belief systems that are keeping us from having self-worth and self-love, then we must fix that in order to truly change. So that's pretty much how it got started, with a little inner child healing.
Yes, and that's super important. Like that is where pretty much all of our problems stem from is childhood because what we learned at HMI, which many people already know this, but they don't know the extent of it, is that when you're a child, one, you're the most vulnerable. You don't really have any control over your life and your reality. But
Right.
also your mind is more suggestible. Your subconscious mind is open. So whatever you're being told by your parents or the people around you, you take that in as true. So if you grow up in a traumatic environment, you learn different ways of dealing with life and dealing with that. And it can become really painful where, people get addictions or mental health issues, etc. But we kind of wanted to touch on hypnosis more because to many people when they hear the word hypnosis, it kind of freaks them out. They think of, like mind control and horror movies and stuff like that. But we actually know about it from a therapeutic context. So I was wondering if you could talk about what was your first experience with hypnosis actually like?
Oh my gosh. So I did a hypnosis session. Well, I'll tell you something interesting. So my childhood was traumatic, and there was a lot of drugs, there was alcohol, there was abandonment. Just like my parents were wounded themselves, so they could only do so much emotionally for us and physically, So I I remember I went into hypnosis, and I actually it was kind of funny because my hypnotherapist lady, she said, after we had a couple sessions, she goes, you came in here at, not a couple, we had more than a couple, but several sessions. And she's like, when you first came in here, you talked about how your childhood was like not so bad. And she goes, but in reality, it was. And I was like, and I actually didn't even realize I said that. And I looked at her, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I didn't even think about it. And I was like, holy cow, like I did. I used to think like um chaos was like normal. I didn't understand anything different because that's just what I saw. Even though I had friends who had more normal lives, and I noticed that, but I also didn't. So anyway, so I remember during one of my hypnosis sessions, she basically, hypnosis, you just get somebody into a brain state, like a theta brain state, so just a really calm, relaxed, meditative state is what you want. And so in that state, I was very calm. I was relaxed, but I will say I was nervous at first. It's a little scary. My heartbeat was kind of fast, and but eventually you calm down. And she took me up to this library, and she goes, and in a moment you're gonna see a child, a girl. And I knew in my subconscious, I was like, I know that's supposed to be me, right? And so I saw this little girl, and she was sitting on a chair, but it was really interesting because when I was walking towards her, she was not looking at me. She was kind of like this. And just like I remember that she felt scared and ashamed and actually embarrassed. Like I remember she felt embarrassed, which I thought was really interesting later. And so anyways, so the hypnotherapist basically gave me a few minutes to talk to the inner child, like what did it need to hear, all these things, right? And I was kind of talking to her, and at one point she says, okay, now you can take this little girl with you and lead her in life, or you can leave her where she's at. And I remember I left her where she was at because all I could think in my mind was, well, if I take the little girl with me, then my then her parents are going to want to know where she is. So it after it was all said and done, even I think it took me months to figure it out, but I realized that what I was doing is I was leaving the girl there because I didn't want to upset my parents. So I realized in that moment that basically I lived my whole life like making sure I pleased my parents, right? Which then created me to live as a codependent. I literally created codependency from that. And no, instead of taking the little girl and saying, hey, I got your back now, like we're gonna do good things, we're gonna progress, I'm gonna support, and I'm gonna love you. I left her there because I didn't want her parents to be upset. So I didn't want my parents to be upset. So basically I created a codependency from that, and I have lived out so many of my years in that kind of state. And then it replayed in my relationships with these men and friendships, even. And ever since I've worked on that, I don't live like that anymore. It's not about codependency. It's about loving myself, setting boundaries, doing the things that I need to do for myself, because if I'm my best self, then I can help you. But if I'm being codependent, which is also it's there's codependency and there's narcissism. They're on this different spectrums, but there's still comparable in the sense that each one is trying to get their needs met. So I was trying to get my needs met, which was to feel loved by being codependent. And it doesn't work. It's a disaster. And you actually end up attracting, the narcissistic personality types. And I don't want to attract that. So I basically had to work on that for years. I probably could have done it faster with doing more hypnosis. Um, but either way, so it's really amazing because through hypnosis and the realization of inner child wounds, I was able to basically reprogram myself to set boundaries, to learn to love myself more. And I'm still working on it. It's still a journey. But I'm like way better off than I used to be. Because I noticed that one of my things was I was always worried about how everybody else is gonna feel. Oh, well, I don't want to do this, even though it was best for me because I don't want to make so and so upset, or they're gonna be upset if I don't do what they want me to do. And so it created disasters in my life. And now I just don't do that. I you really do have to put yourself first if it's the best thing in the moment. That way, like I said, you can be your best self for other people because
Yeah, and then
you're not helping anyone by being codependent. You're not helping yourself, you're not helping the other person. Everybody's enabling each other, and it's literally a disaster zone.
yeah, for sure. And like the way I think about it is if someone is really your friend or really cares about you, they just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
So if someone isn't happy for you doing uh what's best for you, as long as
Mhm.
you're not hurting anybody, like that person isn't right for you.
Yeah.
So, and that's a hard lesson to learn because the way we grew up is like always in fight or flight. Like that wasn't an option. Like not people pleasing wasn't an option because yeah, but as an adult, you learn like you put yourself first and it's all about raising your own vibration and being grateful for what you have and that attracts the right experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. Because because everything is a frequency. So if you're in a frequency of basically a codependent or a narcissist person is in a frequency of lack, right? It's like they don't ever think they can get enough love, enough attention, enough validation, enough. So when you're in a place of lack, the universe only knows how to respond in that frequency. So it's going to bring you more lack, right? So when you work on those things and you raise your vibration to self-love and self-worth and you're exuding that energy out to the universe, you are going to get that back. And that's a fact because I've done
That's a
it and I've
fact.
seen it. And we're
Yeah.
always manifesting, whether you want to believe that or not. It's like we're always manifesting. So we can manifest from this place or we can manifest from this place, right? So I'd rather manifest from this place and create more abundance. Because if I can create more abundance for myself, then guess what I can do is I can share, I can give it away, I can teach people, I can learn, I can be the love that the world needs and not this, oh, I don't have enough. I'm never going to be loved and I'm not worthy enough and no one likes me and I have to act this way to get these things. And it's nonsense. So it really all goes back to like self-love. So, doing hypnosis, basically, if you bring hypnosis into your life with a hypnotherapist or even on your own, because you can reprogram your mind on your own, you have to learn how to do it, but you can do that too. Then you're gonna have more self-love and you're gonna be able to create whatever it is that you want to create through that because you now love yourself and you have worth for yourself and you know that you're capable basically.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like and that was the thing is that like my story is very similar to yours in that like I'm not gonna get specific, but like my life was fucking crazy too.
Yeah.
So like I was really trying hard to like better myself, but I got to this point where like I couldn't. I couldn't like get out of my own head.
Yeah.
Like the it was like the shell that I couldn't crack. And
Hmm.
so I started like I learned about the subconscious through like the law of attraction stuff. And that's how I first got into that. But I was just dealing with so much anxiety and I was working a job that I hated. I'm like, there's no like this is not what life like I know that there's more to life than this. And that's when I found Shelly, my hypnotherapist, and then like my life completely changed and she's like, hey, you should check out HMI. You know, it's 1 year, like you really have nothing to lose. I'm like, okay, fuck yeah. And like it was hard, but it changed us so
Hmm.
much by going through that. And speaking of the inner child, like I've had that experience myself, the inner child healing, and it's probably like one of the most intimate things that you can experience like
Hmm.
in like work with a client. Um and like I've done it with the client and it's just it may almost make you want to cry. I
Right.
don't because I don't get that counter transference, but other people probably would. But but
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Um and then now like from where I'm at, to be honest with you, is like I got a block there where it's still too mental. So that's where now I'm into the energy work stuff. And
Hmm.
like with that, like we should talk about some of the experiences we've had with like the synchronicities there. Cause that's crazy.
Yeah. That, well, you know what else though? Like, so with, so there's more than just like hypnosis to heal, right? Because hypnosis works with the mind and the mind also works with the body and the body works with the mind. Like it's all intertwined, right? But in traumatic events, like trauma gets stored. Okay, so this is kind of wild, but cells hold on to memory of trauma. So if your cells are the healthy cells are the blueprint to a healthy body, yet they still hold on to the memory of trauma. Trauma is a low vibration, right? It's fear, it's hate, it's anger, it's sadness, it's low. So if your cells, I just think this is so fascinating. If your cells hold on to the memory of trauma and you, let's say you're sexually molested, or let's say you're beat, or let's say you're always trying to survive, which is lots of times obviously what trauma is, right? You're trying to survive, just make it through the day. I mean, I remember I'd be in school sometimes and I'm like, I wouldn't do good in school because I was in fight or flight because I just wanted to know like what would it be like when I got home? You know, are my parents gonna be there? Like, are they gonna be fighting? Or is my mom gonna be drunk? Sorry, mom, not trying to throw you under the bus, but like things like that, and so my point is so your cells hold on to trauma, right? So in order to have a healthy body away from illness, you have to have healthy cells. It's pretty simple, right? So when your cells cannot, when they're not oxygenated enough and they don't have the proper things they need to fuel themselves, then your body's going to start to create disease. And suppressed emotions create disease in the body because suppressed emotions are tied to traumatic events in your life, things that you didn't process, the body didn't process, the mind didn't process. So now it's stuck and it's like an energetic, like it's stuck. So you have to literally move that out. You have to move it out, and you can do it through Reiki. You can do it through dancing. Singing's really good. Like, when I'm tapping, the tapping thing's amazing. If I ever have anxiety, I do the tapping thing and I instantly feel calmer. There's all different ways, the talking to yourself, putting your hands on your heart, and breathing's like one of the biggest thing. Like, breathe it out, like breathe out the anxiety, and then like as you're breathing out anxiety, I like to bring love back into my heart, and I literally will talk to myself. I'm like, Jessica, you're safe, you're loved, you're capable of doing this, you're smart, you got this, girlfriend. And that's my body. I'm like, I'm working with my body to do that. And so hypnosis is amazing, but it's only one part of the piece. There's other things we need to do, and somatic therapy is like huge, which is working with the body. So I don't know. I find that so fascinating how the cells, I mean, think about that. If trauma gets stored in the
Yeah.
body, no wonder everyone, how many times do you, oh, I have heart problems. Well, yeah, because you literally have a broken heart, you know? I have digestive problems. Yeah, because your solar plexus, you're living in fear, you know? I have, my hips are all messed up, right? Because you don't feel secure and rooted on the planet because it has to do with your root chakra and your sacral. And I mean, it's just it's mind blowing, but it's very real, you know, and it's not woohoo stuff. It's just energy. Everything is energy. Energy, you do not always see it, but it has to exist. It can't not, right? It's like this air is energy. Like, how do we breathe? We can't see air, but we still have to breathe it in order to live. It's invisible. So,
Yeah. That like everything is like you said, vibration, frequency, and what
mm.
humans can see visible light is it's like 0.0003% of everything in the universe, something to that effect. So um just because people can't see a lot of this stuff doesn't mean it doesn't have a big impact.
Well,
So
and
yeah.
you know that emotions hold a different frequency, like a different number,
Mhm.
literally. Like a different, they have different numbers to them. So it's all math, right? Like the universe is all made up of math at the end of the day. You can put numbers to everything. So it's just interesting. So like, you know, sadness and fear and like those have like a lower vibration, a lower frequency to them, right? Whereas like
Mhm.
faith and love and I mean, it's all very it's higher. It's a higher vibration. So I just really know that people that are ill and dealing with diseases in the body, it's because they have suppressed emotions that are stuck there and it's in a low vibration and they have to get it. You have to get it out. You cannot people do this thing where they like, oh, I'm fine. It's good. No, like, are you really fine? Like, you just got in a car accident and you freaking got whiplash. Like, are you really okay? Or are you scared? Do you have fear? Are you afraid to drive now? Like, well, how's your neck? You know, is your knee messed up? Like, you're not fine. Like, yeah, you're technically all right, but you're struggling. You have things that you need to work through. So like instead of us always just being like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm fine." You know, it's okay to just say, "No, actually, I feel like shit. I feel sad, I feel scared, I feel jealous, I feel angry." Okay, well, all right. That's good. So where's that emotion coming from? Where did it resonate from? And lots of times it does go back into the childhood stuff, right? Like they say if you heal like your childhood trauma, that it actually, if you start at the root of like the traumatic events, and just so you know, like trauma doesn't have to be some big ordeal. Trauma is literally just when your nervous system's dysregulated. So it doesn't, even if your little brother, like you're sitting on the swing and he just kind of pushed you off, and he's like, "Hey, it's my swing," and he kind of pushed you off, and you're like, "Whoa!" Like you go into shock for a minute. Like, yeah, is it trauma? No, but did your nervous system get dysregulated and kind of throw you off, and your brother's being mean to you, and now you think in your mind, "Wow, like my brother must not love me if he's being mean. Like, is something wrong with me?" And then you start creating these beliefs, right? I mean, it can start from these very small things. It doesn't because people are like, "Oh, well, I don't have trauma." And I'm like, okay, let me rephrase that. Have you ever had incidents in your life where like your nervous system felt dysregulated or your emotions were kind of all over the place or you created a belief that is holding you back now? Like, so if, it can start from very small things. I mean, like, it doesn't have to be something horrific to create a belief system that is now no longer serving you, but you're still living by the beliefs. Like, for example, like if you're in school, right? And you have a teacher and you try to spell a word and you mess it up. And the teacher's like, "Jessica, I told you yesterday, that's not how we spell cat, blah, blah, blah." And they get upset with you. And now all of a sudden you have this fear like, oh no, you create a belief. Oh no, an emotion, a belief, a thought. I'm not smart enough. My teacher is making fun of me. So now, you go to high school and you have to do some, I don't know, anything. You have to stand up in front of the class and speak about something, or show a problem on the board, but now you're kind of terrified because you have the memory is still in your system. It's still in your body. You're holding the memory still. So now you're kind of terrified and you're like, I don't know why I'm so terrified. Like, I know how to do this math problem. Let's say I'm good at math. I'm doing this, but yeah, you're still in this fight or flight. But it could possibly stem from when you were 6 years old and you didn't spell cat right and you got yelled at. So it really is little things like that that create these beliefs and emotions and thoughts. And it's just kind of wild. It always reminds me of how, like, how we speak to children is huge. And some people are like, oh, we don't need to be like tough, like give them some tough love, like make them tough. And I'm like, man, that is not, I don't think so. Like, you need to always be encouraging your child, even if they didn't do their best on the baseball field. It's not about, hey, Tommy, you should have hit that ball harder. You could just say, hey, Tommy, all right, you didn't win that one. It's okay. You did your best, didn't you? All right, we'll go home and we'll practice some more. It's simple. It's all about like how you speak to children, because those things matter. Like, that is what creates the being to grow up and be a certain way. And people have no idea. Like, they're talking to their kids like crap, or like these limited thoughts. And I'm just like, no, no, let's not talk to them like that. So I don't know. I could talk about that stuff forever.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And like it's sad because a lot of that, the way parents are talking to their kids is because they want the best for them, but they don't realize the effect of what they say is going into the subconscious. Like, if you don't get good grades, then you won't get into a good college, then you're gonna be a loser. And like, we know that's complete bullshit. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people that go to those good college are in like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. And
Mhm.
like the other person, they may not be interested in school, but they could be a good like tradesperson, or there's so many different ways to make money. And it's all about like, if you believe something is going to be hard and like like such a challenge, then it will be. But if you believe like money's easy to come by, then you
Yeah.
could find many different ways. Or like, people believe that you don't have to get a job to make money. You can have your own business. You can do so many different things to make money. Why is it why does it have to be such a like issue? But that comes back to programming.
Exactly. And it also comes back to societal programming, right? Like, I mean, let's just be honest. Like, society is like written for like the rich men to get richer at the end of the day. Because, if they taught, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm pretty good at manifesting. Like, I got a lot of weird things happening right now in my life, and I'm like, nope, like, I'm gonna be fine. Like, I'm gonna manifest this, I'm gonna do that. And there's this mentality that you work hard, like, grind your ass, and then you'll be successful. And yeah, that actually does work, but you could actually do the opposite and create still like successful moments in your life and things to flow to you, because like what you resist persists. So like, if we just like surrender and just say to the universe, God, I don't care, whatever words you want to use, and you ask and you say, I need to make an extra $500 this week. I have no idea how it's going to happen, and I'm not even going to try to control the outcome, because that's where we get stuck when it comes to manifesting, is we try to control everything. And like, we're not in always that kind of, like, our mind is it's such an illusion. Like, it creates, I can only make $500 if I do this, this, and this. Okay, well then, right, that will be true for you. But I'm over here like, well, I'm going to make $500 and I don't even really know how. And then guess what? Somebody texts me and they're like, hey, I need a little bit of help in my garden for a few hours. Will you come help me for the next 3 days? Sure. And then they just give you some cash. And then there you go. You just like made the $500 and you had no idea that Gary was going to message you and tell you that he needed your help in the garden because you also put it out there, like I put things out there. I'm like, okay, I want to go to people's houses. I want to be kind of like a nanny. Sign me up. I'll do your laundry. I'll do your dishes. I'll declutter your house. I'll help you organize. And like I just set that intention and then I'll tell people, I'm like, hey, well, if you ever need any extra help, like I got your back. I'm not
Hmm.
obsessive, right? I'm not like I need this. I'm like, all right, well, hey, if you need my help, I'm here for you. And the next thing you know, like literally they contact you or you go somewhere and someone's like, hey, Jess, like my friend really needs a dog sitter. You want to help out? Yeah, got it. No problem. So yes, but but I'm a hustler in that sense too. But I also I hustle in the sense of like I surrender and I have faith, right? I'm not living in fear because every time I've lived in fear, I've just created more fear events to come to me. And I promise you, it's not fun. But when you just have faith and people are like, well, how do you do that? And I'm like, because I believe. I know the truth of what our thoughts create, what emotion we put behind our thoughts. If I know that I'm going to make, an extra $10,000 this month, let's say, like I have this goal that I want to just make $10,000 a month. If I can make $10,000 a month, I can have enough to pay my rent on my own. I can save money, whatever, right? I have no idea how I'm going to do that. I actually don't. But I have ideas and I put them out into the universe and I will create that. It might take me a year to figure it out. It might take me 6 months. I'm not quite sure. But it's just crazy because whatever you strongly believe is what you will create. So like yesterday Eliza's like, what was she talking to me about? Oh, she was talking about something. She's like, "Well, mom," she's like, "that could happen." And I go, "Liza, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen." She's like, "Well, mom, yeah, it could." And I looked at her, I go, "Well, you know what? You're right. Because you believe that it could happen. So yes, you're correct. That could happen for you." And then I left it. No arguing, no trying to make her not believe what she believes. The truth is that's what she believes. And because she believes it, it could actually happen. Or she could decide, hey, I don't want to believe this thought. I want to have this thought instead. I'm gonna hold truth with this belief, which to me is always like, let's just get on the higher belief. Like, what do you like? It's all an illusion. Like it's all just what you believe. That's why some people take this medicine and do these protocols and it works for them. And that's why some people do all the same things and it doesn't work for them. And it's all about what you believe, like period. And if you don't believe that, try it.
Yeah, yeah, and like I've come to my own beliefs about like the manifestation stuff, which is it is real, but it's been hijacked by like marketing people
Yeah.
in the sense of like I'm just gonna visualize and then I'm gonna get this Lamborghini. It's like no, that's not what it is. What it is the principle of vibration and like certain thoughts and emotions and beliefs carry a vibration that like attracts like. So Jess was talking about like belief and faith. Like if you start your day off with thinking about the things that you're grateful for and appreciative and you're always thinking that way, like
Mhm.
you're not you can't be anxious and in a state of lack. Because when you're thinking about all the things that you want and you don't have, you're in that state of lack and the universe is going to meet you where you're at like vibration wise. So if you're always in a gratitude and abundance, like everything just comes for you because it could be a trap where you could get all those things, but then it still doesn't feel like enough. And then that's why a lot of like celebrities like they go crazy because they got all these things and they're still miserable and then they start doing drugs or like kill themselves.
Yeah.
So it's better to realize that before you waste all that time. And not that you can't have that stuff and be and not be happy. It's just like you you want to feel that gratitude and abundance now, like regardless of
Mhm.
where you're at, because why would you want to wait? Like life is too short to wait for that feeling, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like you said, that feeling is what's going to bring more of that in. But the thing is people have trouble feeling that because they have these, again, stuck emotions and these belief systems from their younger self that they don't even realize they have. And they're like, oh, well, I
Mhm.
tried to do that. It's not working. Well, okay, it's because we have to go back deeper down into the root cause issue. There's literally like roots down there that need to be reprogrammed. And until we go and do that, yeah, it's not really going to make sense for you to try to always be in a thought of abundance when you just simply don't even understand how to feel that way, you know?
Mhm.
So you really have to reprogram those parts that have been in such lack for so long. So to tell someone, "Oh, well just think abundant and you'll be good." And they're like,
Yeah.
dude, I tried to do that. It's not working. Well, yeah, because the truth is it's a surface level thought, whereas the root thought is I'm always stressed out. I never have enough money. I can't survive on my own. I'm not worthy to create things, blah, blah, blah. That's the root deep down. So you have to go into that deep subconscious belief and then recreate it to be one of abundance and prosperity and self love and self worth. And you're capable and you're smart and you're badass. And the only way to really do that is to reprogram the mind. And so, how do you reprogram the mind? Hypnosis. And you can get an awesome hypnotherapist like us, or you can start working on yourself. And you really can. You can start very small. Like you said, like write gratitude things. What are you grateful for? It doesn't, even if your life's miserable, you still have something you're grateful for. You know, like I'm literally grateful. I have this drink. I love this mountain water valley, and I was able to drive my car to go purchase it. Like that's a luxury,
Mhm.
right? Like some people could never do that. They freaking can't even find water. I mean, literally, there's starving people in the world, like Gaza, people
Yeah.
getting murdered, just, like what the hell? But we're over here living in a little house, driving, getting our gas, getting a drink. Like, I'm thankful for that. I really am. So,
Right.
anyone can find something to be thankful for, at least five things you could, even if you're going through hell. So you start there, right? Like, and then you talk to your inner child, like it's so the thing I do is like when I feel very emotional and I'm like, wow, I'm emotional, I need to cry. Okay, so I'll go in my bed and I will literally have these moments where I have like a crying session with myself, and I let myself cry, and I let these emotions out, and as I'm letting the sadness out that's been stuck in me, I put my hands on my heart and I say, yes, Jessica, but you are loved and you are worthy and you're safe. Don't you remember? And like I literally I basically reparent my inner child, because in all of us we have these inner childs, which inner children, which is where our beliefs are, right? So, and the thing is you're most reprogrammable when you are at a highly emotional state. So if you are crying, if you are mad, if you have a high state of emotion, that's when you can reprogram yourself. So I know that. So when I'm crying and I'm feeling sad and I'm letting it out, I then bring in these positive affirmations and this counseling to my inner child. And then seriously, like I get up and I'm like, yeah, dude, like you got this. And then I go in the mirror and I look at myself literally in my eyes, because mirror work is amazing. And I talk to myself. I'm like, Jessica, you're smart, you're awesome, you are capable, you're safe, you have security, like you're girl, you're good. And I have like this whole little thing and it works. I have reprogrammed myself by just doing that. It can be that small. It doesn't even, you know, you can take 5 minutes, 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be some big ordeal.
Yeah. And like if you're in that like super fight flight state,
Mm-hmm.
like of lack, I would say it's all about baby steps,
Yeah.
like chunking things down. So I would do something that's high vibrational, something that you like if you live near a beach, go to the beach.
Yep.
If you haven't bought a like food for yourself, go get
Yeah.
something, like just do something. And then after you do that, then you can think those like man, I'm grateful for this. Like, I'm eating this Chinese food and it's so good. And like,
Yeah.
like I have this money and I spent it. I know more is gonna come back instead of like it's just like it's abundant. Like how many trillions of dollars exist and like you can't attract enough to like live your abundant life. Like you can.
Yeah, you really, yes. So that's been one of my biggest things is like money, right? Because my family didn't teach us shit about money. And so I was like, well, I don't know how to do all this. And so I seriously started doing this thing and I love it. I still do it. Like because sometimes I go spend money, and Eliza would be like, Mom, like, we don't need to buy that. And I would look at her and be like, Liza, I was like, we're a rich girl. We are definitely buying this. We deserve it. And I just say it. And I remember at first I was kind of like, bullshit, bullshit. I'd be like, I'm rich. I'm rich. It's fine. And I'm like, yeah, you don't really believe that. But I just kept saying it and saying it and saying it. And so now, like, no, do I need to just go blow money? No, absolutely not. But do I want to buy myself these pretty flowers that are right in front of me for $15 if I want to? Like, yeah, I do. Even sometimes when I don't have a lot of money, I will go buy myself flowers, because they make me happy. And then every time I spend some money, I will also say, like, money is just energy and energy is all around me. Every time I spend money, I get more money back. I mean, it's very simple little things like that you can just say every single time you spend money, or maybe not even every single time, but every time you can remember to say it. And then guess what starts happening? You start getting more money. It comes out of weird places. It just does, you know?
Yeah, that's so true. And like so many people have programming about money. Like one of the like money is the root of all evil. It's like so many people are taught that. So like if you think money is evil,
Mhm.
like money is not gonna like you. But if you say like somehow we've been conditioned to think like if you say I love money, like you're some greedy bastard. It's like no, like if you love money, like money will love you. Like that could be an affirmation like I love money, so money loves me. But it's like that with everything in our reality, because like you said, everything is in the mind. So
Well, and think about this, okay? So people think that you're greedy because you want more money. Some people have that mindset, right? And I don't know what to tell those people except this. That if you if you could create an abundance of money, what could you do with it? Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, you could use it all for yourself. I mean, and you have the right to do that. Like, I am nobody to tell some rich person that they are greedy because they don't want to spend their money on other people. That's not my business, because at the end of the day, those rich people that are really frugal, they have a mindset of, lots of times when they are young, they were poor. So they're afraid of losing it. And so that's why sometimes they don't give it away. And I understand that stuff. So I don't judge people like that. Fine, don't give your money away, whatever. You're actually missing out because you're not realizing that you're living in a scarcity mindset, which isn't really benefiting you. But whatever, that's not where they're at, right? But if I have a lot of money, like, I literally want so much money because I want to give it away. I really do. I want to make sure I have my foundation good. I have Eliza, like, I'm my mom. I want to be like, Mom, you want to fly to Florida every single month? I got your plane ticket. Mom, you want to go to Costa Rica? Hey, Rachel, Amber, my sisters, you want to go on a girls retreat to Jamaica? I don't know, probably not in Jamaica, but wherever. Oh, you guys want to go to Greece? Come on, let's go. I got you. Like, I want to do that for people. Oh, I want to go take care of dogs. I want to go into, like, the ghetto and, like, help some of these children. So money is only evil if you want to make it evil. Like, no, the money is not evil. It's the person spending and doing weird things with the money that's the problem. It has nothing to do with, no, money can't be evil. That's not, that doesn't even make sense. It just
right.
like, I think it's like the silliest concept that society has created. But it's okay. They only know as much as they know, right? So if you could sit down and talk to someone about Okay, let's talk about why. What about money is evil? And you break it down to people, lots of times they'll say, "Oh, wow, okay, that's a good point. I didn't think about that." So again, it's a belief, right? And some people have a very embedded belief about money being evil. So, and how are you going to change that? You're not going to change it. And you could try to help them change it, but they have to change it. Do they want to continue to believe that money's evil? Okay, fine. Or do you want to believe that it's not and change that concept so that you can actually create more money and then you can help yourself and the world? I mean, that sounds way better.
Right. And well, another thing is like people are saying like, oh, when I get rich, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give to people and I'm gonna be generous. But the thing is, if you're not generous when you don't have a lot of money, then you won't be generous when you do. So like,
Yeah.
like that's another thing, because like you could always be generous with whatever you have.
Yeah. For sure. Like I do little things, you know what I mean? Like I don't have a bunch of money to just like give out, but sometimes when I go to like Petco or something and they're like, "Do you want to donate?" And there's times where I'm literally struggling really pretty bad and I'm like, but I have the abundant mindset of, yeah, of course I'll donate a little bit of dog food, or you know what I'm saying? I don't do it every single time, but it's
Mhm.
not like I don't ever feel like I can't do little things. You know what I'm saying? Like Eliza's friend comes over, we go to the coffee shop and I get him food and like I just want to get to the point though where I have like a lot that I can do like really big impactful things, which would be but the little things are impactful too. It's a big deal, like I mean, I've given homeless people money sometimes, and I remember them being very grateful for it, not just taking and being like, but ones that are like
Mhm.
really like, wow, like thank you, and I'm like, yeah, of course, here's $5. But I don't do that with a lot of homeless people because I know what they're doing with the money. But there's every once in a while I'll come across someone who I'm like my intuition goes, give them that $5, and I'm like, yeah, I know I should, shouldn't I? And so then I do, you know. So it's just like little things like that that you can do that do make a difference for people.
Yeah. Yeah, intuition is strong. And that's
Mhm.
when like there's levels to this to where first you have to realize like how important it is to listening to your intuition, but then once you do that, that's when you start seeing synchronicities. Like for a lot of us, it's like animals, like
Mhm.
and thing everything like the universe
Mhm.
I keep saying this, the universe is mental. So like everything you're seeing in your reality is a message. Like it's like a vibration, like a signal.
Yep.
And so like the more awake you get, the more you can see through that stuff.
Yeah. And then it gets really weird because then you're like whole like, oh man, I don't even know. I've literally jumped like timelines sometimes where I'm just like I don't even want to talk about it here because it just sounds so weird. People are like, oh god, this but I mean seriously, like I don't know. I've had really weird things like that. Just like some crazy like universal like spiritual, let's just call it spiritual, I guess, things that happen sometimes and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, you know? And it is true because when you listen to your intuition, like you're basically listening to your part of like yourself that is part of God. Like you can't not be a part of God because God is the creation of all things. So you are a part of it no matter what, right? So the intuition is like that God part talking to you and it's always giving you messages and it's not in a fear way. It's in a very like it's very quiet in a way. It like I like the other day when you messaged me, I said in my head, I was like, oh, I should see if Ben's gonna go to the second year of hypnosis school. I just randomly like thought that in my head. And then you messaged me and you're like, hey, do you want to do a Reiki session? And I was like, what the hell? And it was just kind of funny because I was like, go figure, like, I don't know, it's pretty cool because you can actually send telepathic messages to people, which I started doing it with my niece years ago because I learned about it. And I did the whole like literally imagine a cord like in your head, your third eye, connect it, close your eyes, connect it to the other person, and then literally send the message and imagine it going down through the cord and into their brain. And I seriously do that. And I started practicing with my niece. And I sent her a message one day, and I don't talk to her a lot. Like we go months without talking. And I literally sent her a message and I said, Amara, I love you. And that night, it was so funny. She sent me through text message. She's like, "Hey, Aunt Jessie, I miss you." I was like, "Girl, you got my message, didn't you?" So it's like that's a synchronicity. Like that's like, but the telepathic messages are real. It's just all tied into like the vibration and the frequency and the energy and the things like we don't see, yet we can still create them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that happens like all the time where I'll be thinking about someone and then they'll just text me and like they haven't texted me in a while or
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like, but stuff like that happens all the time where you'll be thinking about something because the way I look at intuition is like, because everything vibrates, right? So it's
Mhm.
like a radio wave. Like
Yeah.
our intuition is like the receiver, and the universe, which is all thoughts, is like the signal. So like this gets really out there.
I know.
but but yeah,
Well,
it's
it's like
crazy.
like quantum physics.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
that.
like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
it's basically the science behind the universe. I mean, and all the mysterious things that we can't necessarily see, but that are happening. Like there is science behind it now, and there always has been. But I guess more or less they're like talking about it now, right? And they're like, ancient teachings, they used to know a lot of things. There's a lot of books and things that have been hidden from us. Well, why do you think?
Hmm.
Because it holds like the truth of the universe that you literally are creating it with your thoughts, your energy, your vibration that you're putting out there. Like you will create whatever you believe to happen. It's just true. So it's kind of like miraculous if you think about it. Like, and that to me is exciting because that means you have the power. Like you have the power to change anything. Like nothing is just some coincidence. Like, oh, I just bad luck. It's so funny because people are always like, oh yeah, good luck. And I'm like, and I sound cocky sometimes, but I don't care because it's the truth. But I'm like, I don't need luck. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't need luck. I just need to create.
Yeah, but if you notice, like all the people that are like, "Oh, good luck with that. Good luck doing this. Good luck." They're all miserable, and they're all
I
like in
know.
such a like shallow lack. They live a lack
Mindset.
infested. Yeah, like everything is lack. But like the people that do it, it's like, and it's hard because how programmed we are of all these like logical things, like
No.
save money and like go to school, and it's all about doing behaving a certain way to avoid a negative outcome,
Yeah.
which is what you're focusing on,
Right.
versus like trying to move towards the positive. It's all about like avoiding the negative, you know?
Yes. So it goes back to that saying, what you resist, persist. Like stop
Hmm.
resisting everything. Like let's stop focusing on things we don't want to have and we don't want to create. I mean, what the hell? It's like a waste of energy. Like why don't we just like Eliza, she'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to fail my test." And I'm like, "Liza, you're not going to fail your test. You already passed it." And I've been programming her with this positivity, like this mindset, and it's working. And she'll get in the car and she's like, "Yeah, I already passed my test." I'm like, "That's already done. It's already done, girlfriend."
Yeah.
And I don't make a big deal out of it. I don't make a big deal. I'm like, "What do you mean, Liza passed your test? You already passed it." you know? So I get her in the mindset of that. And because of that though, her whole attitude has changed. I mean, she's really finally listening because for a while she thought I was kind of annoying, I think. She was like, "Oh, mom, mom." She's like, "Mom, don't start with this manifesting spiritual thing." I'm like, all right, Liza, I go, one day you'll listen. One day you'll trust me. And it's funny because I'll say things to her. I'm like, Liza, just trust me. And she used to be like, oh. And now it's funny because now she's like, Mom, I trust you. I'm like, good. Because really, you're just trusting yourself. Like, I'm just telling you to trust me because I trust in you. So I'm trying to teach you to actually trust yourself, you know? And I know that
Yeah,
create anything. I trust that. Now it's time for you to.
for sure.
And
That's like, yeah.
I just show her through like example. Cause it's been a whole thing with my whole family. They're like, oh, Jesse, like my mama. I'm like, all right, guys, just wait. So not every time, but when I start creating things, I started with my mom. I'm like, oh, I got to tell my mom. Cause I told her, Mom, don't worry, I'm going to create that. And she'd be like, okay, well, we'll see. And then so I take my time. I figure out how to get in the right mindset to manifesting these things, right? Reprogram parts of myself every damn day. And then next thing you know, I'm creating it. And I tell my mom, I go, Mom, I have to tell you this story. So, and all these things, when we're creating, we have these like synchronicities that come in, right? Like everything just like flows perfectly to create the situation. It's like so obvious when you're awake to it. So I'll call my mom sometimes. I'm like, Mom, I have to tell you this story and what happened because I'm showing her. This is what I've been saying for years, Mom. We're creating our reality. Like we have to stop thinking negatively. Like it's seriously like the biggest waste of time. And not only is it a waste of time, but it's actually screwing you. You're screwing yourself. And people are like, I'm just being realistic. No, you're not. You're just being pessimistic.
Well, like, okay, this is, I just thought of this right now. So people say, I'm just being realistic. Like, okay, what in the word realistic is reality,
Right.
real. So it's like, it goes back to we're living in this simulation, this matrix that's created from our mind. It's realistic to you because that's what you believe is your reality. But
Right.
that's the only reason why it's realistic. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like it's just your perspective that you can't see outside of,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah, 100 freaking percent. And I remember like I was like, I want to be a master manifester. I was like, how the hell? What is like we're all master manifestors anyways, but I want to be an intentional one for my benefit. And so I started reading these books and I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, if these people say it works, why not just try it? So that's when I started learning how to like manifest and use and to figure it out. I was like, I just have to change my thoughts. So anytime I have a negative thought, like um I don't know, like, oh, tonight's going to be slow. I'm probably not going to make any money at work. I would hear a voice, a little message, and it'd be like, no, 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 no. No, you're not creating that. Remember? And I'd be like, oh, yeah. And then I'd say, I'm going to go to work today and it's not going to be super busy, but we're going to get really good tips. Work smarter, not harder, type of thing. And I would just
Yeah.
and then I would imagine, literally, I would just imagine these $20 bills going into the bucket. And I would text Jeff, who I work with. I'm like, Jeff, $20 bills going into the bucket tonight. And then we go to work. And when I would set that intention with him, we'd go to work and I shit you not. Like I remember the first time I did it, I looked at Jeff. I go, Jeff, look at the tip jar. He's like, I know. I go, I told you it works, because
Yeah.
you're just try. Like at first, it's not going to make sense. You're going to feel kind of wonky, and you're going to feel like you're lying to yourself. It doesn't matter. You just keep doing it because eventually you will have to create it. Because once it becomes a belief in your subconscious, you will create it. So you brainwash yourself, which is what you've been
Yeah.
doing your whole life. You've been brainwashing yourself to think this and to do that. Your family's been brainwashing you to have these belief systems. Like, why not just brainwash yourself in a positive way? They literally say like the most successful people are like the delusional ones, you know? And if you want to manifest, you kind of have to walk around as if you're already it. So if I want to become a millionaire, let's say, I have to act like I already am. So how do you do that? You kind of put yourself around millionaires. Maybe you go to Tampa and sit at the really nice restaurant, you know, where the millionaires have their conferences or the CEOs are going to, and you just order a nice little appetizer and you mingle with the millionaires. Or I sit in my house and I'm like, wow, I'm so abundant. Like I don't own this house, but wow, I own this house. This is my house. Like I had enough money to pay for this house. Like kind of delusional. But the thing is, is if you keep doing it, your mind will have, it doesn't understand what's real and fake. So if you convince the subconscious enough times, it will take on the belief. It doesn't have the idea that it doesn't know the difference between real or fake. So you
Yeah.
can you can keep convincing yourself, and if you truly believe and you know that that to be true, it will happen. It doesn't, it can't not. I know that. I'm doing it. So
Yeah, I'm looking up this quote. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix,
you know what's funny
but
is
he
I've
talks
never watched that movie.
that I don't know, it's such a good it's a good movie just because like the way it makes you think about reality. But there's a point the character Morpheus, he says, "What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain."
Yeah.
Like, so like
Yeah.
it's just electrical signals, which is just frequency. So like, I don't know.
Well, and it just shows you that like people like what's real to you, because people are like, oh well that's real, and it's like, well, in what sense? Like, you know, it's real because it's real to you. But that's why, like, they say like how people like, perception, right? It's a perception.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be, let's say there's three people and somebody says something in a certain way. I perceive it in this way, and you, Ben, are like, I didn't hear that. Like, they didn't say it like that. And I'm like, oh my God, they didn't. And you're like, no, I didn't hear it like that. Well, who's right? Like, who's right?
Yeah.
Nobody, really, because it's all about what is real is, well, you perceived it in this manner and I perceived it in this manner. So I guess that was real. I mean, it just shows you that how we're basically making up illusions all the time at all times of the day. Like even through
Mm-hmm.
conversation, people will say things and then we take this idea and we're like, oh my God, this person said this. They mean this. And really that's not the case. So which is kind of cool though, because then it shows you like, wow, we don't need to be like taking things so seriously. We don't need to be like assuming things all the time. Like, who cares if Janet said it in that tone of voice? It really doesn't mean shit. I could sit here and think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she's mad at me, or I could say, oh, wow, she had a tone of voice and that's how she sounded, but that has nothing to do with me. Like, it's all about, again, like your belief. What do you believe? It's beliefs, man. It's all beliefs.
Yeah. So since we're talking about beliefs, what do you think happens after we die?
Oh my God. Well, I believe that we go, I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen, but I believe that our soul leaves our body and then we it's so hard because it's like I don't like words because words can't describe that realm very well. It's completely like almost undescribable with human words. But like I was gonna say, I believe we travel. But again, what's traveling? It's what does that even mean, right? But I believe that we like go back into the other dimension, like we go back into other dimensions, like we just do. And we don't have a body, but we're all energy. And we feel this, I believe that we all feel this warmth, like we're almost like we're like covered in a blanket of love, like in warmth, like, and you can't, I've actually experienced it in my dreams, so I know exactly what it feels like, but you can't even feel it here. Not for anything. You can't. It is the feeling of God. Like God at its most purest form of love. And that's all. Just love. If you could have the purest form of love 24/7, what would that feel like? Complete bliss. I mean, think about it. So that's what it is. That's what it's like there. And you don't have any fear, you don't have any pain. You're just like so happy and content that you're back into yourself again, which is this blissful moment of God. That's what I mean, that's like the initial thing. then after that, I don't know, I think we travel sometimes and we reincarnate into other dimensions and other galaxies and other planets, and we become other little entities for a time period until we want to come back to Earth to learn some more lessons and to go through a little bit of hell.
Yeah, this is a weird planet.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the darkest, I believe. Maybe it's not the darkest planet, but it's like, because there could be some planets of straight hell, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, but this
Oh,
is pretty
yeah.
much like, this is pretty hell. I mean, think about it. Like right now, someone could bust into my house with a gun and kill me. I mean, how, like, what more hell do you
Mhm.
need to like create? People are bombing people and blowing up buildings and exploding families and tearing people apart and keeping them captive and torturing them for days, months. I mean, that shit's wild.
Yeah. The way I think about it, like, I don't know of any other planets or realms. I believe they're out there, but I don't have proof. But like with this one that we live on right now, it's like there's so much of polarity between the two extremes.
Yeah.
Like you have that like war and murder and violence and stuff, but you also
Hmm.
have like beauty and love and compassion and peace. So it's like both of
Yes.
that is existing at the same time. So it's just I think we should focus on the love and peace and everything. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're not human, especially if you're living in, a war zone or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah. I know that's the thing. Like on the planet, it is polarity. It's half dark, half light. Period. It's just the way it is here. So you're gonna experience both things. Um, but to me, it's like I don't know. It gets kind of like a touchy subject because some people get upset because they're just like like the people in the war zone. They're like, well, like these people are in a war zone and like they're just living this hell on earth, and it's like try telling them to like think positive and create a better life. Like it's weird, It's but I also think that souls come here to experience things. I really do. Like, and the thing is if you are in a war zone and you get blown up, good. Like, good. You just escaped hell and now you get to go home and you get to feel like, oh my God, like there's nothing to worry about once you die. You get to go home and you get to experience pure bliss. Like you're free. Death is freedom, and people don't forget that because society has programmed us to believe that, oh my God, that person died, that's awful. It's like, no, it's not. Like they get to go home. Like it actually makes me emotional when I think about it because I'm like, that's so exciting that that soul gets to go back home and feel that love and that bliss and that warm blanket just covering them. Like, wow, how good for you. It just sucks here when you have to go through like the moment right before death. It's the moment right before death, but that does not exist anymore once you die. It's gone. So why are we over here like, oh my God, that's the worst thing in the world? And it's like, yeah, it's the worst thing in this world to experience that moment of pure agony for those few minutes. But then once it's done, like you just got thrown into like the most loveliest place. And I personally sometimes I'm like, damn, like you gotta go home and we gotta stay here. Which is exciting, we gotta go do fun things, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I miss
Mhm.
that place. I love home outside of the earth.
Yeah. Well, I think with death, it's like that's what gives life a meaning because if you were literally here forever,
Oh,
like first of all, that sounds terrible. But second of all, like because we know, first of all, we don't know when we're gonna die. We all want to think like we're gonna live to be 80 or 100 or whatever, but we don't know. So because we don't know when we're gonna die, we should try to experience all the things that we want to experience and not like be stuck in a little office under fluorescent lights, like
Yeah.
because we're afraid of like what might happen if we do what we really want to do. Like that's no way to live, and I
I
guess
know.
that's what I'm trying to convey to people.
I know. I think it's wild that like, oh man, that like some people just live to work just to die. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to work. Like I'll say that loud and proud. Like I don't like you can oh I'm not lazy. I just don't want to work. Like I don't want to go clock in and make my bosses richer just for fun. Like it's not. But here's the thing: why I am at work, I try to create nice relationships. I create cool experiences. I have fun. I laugh. I'm like, whatever. Does it have to be work or can I make it fun? You know? So, but if I'm miserable at my job, then that's a problem, right? Like I should probably check myself and go do something else because that's just not fun. So, work is really like a state of mind, I think. Like work is more of like a sense of like an obligation of having to like clock in and I know that I have to work at 4 to 10 o'clock, so my time is kind of like it's not as free, right? I have like a responsibility that I have to live out. But that's fine. Like at the end of the day, it's like, well, so if I'm gonna go to work, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna do a good job and I'm gonna make people laugh and I'm gonna counsel them at the bar and maybe create a connection or two that night. Like who knows? Like I just try to make it more fun and not think like, oh, I gotta go to work. You know, like if that's the case, that's a pretty miserable place. So I would rather be like more like I don't have a job, but I have like an experience that I get to go do to make some money. That's fun.
Yes,
Think of it
that's
more like
exactly
that.
it. That's the right way to look at it. Like it's not even work. It really what it is service. I'm going to be of service to
Yeah.
people, and it's gonna create money in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And then
not a
that
job.
makes yes. And then that again, it's all about a perception. So and then that makes where I have so much fun when I live like that. Like I'll set these intentions before I go into work and I'm like, dear God, um, what I want to create today a really fun atmosphere. I just want to have fun. I want to do my job well and I want to create money, abundance. And then I also ask for a couple connections. Like I usually just ask for one. I'm like I want to create like one good connection with somebody, you know.
Hmm.
Or sometimes I'll say I want to create a new hypnosis client or and it's crazy because I actually will create that when I set the intention because I know that I will because I know the belief of I know the I know the power of belief. So,
Hmm.
and then it's not so boring, I'm not like, oh, I gotta go to work. I'm like, yay, I gotta go to work and have some fun for a little bit, make some money, and come home. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but it sounds like what I noticed with you is you're actually giving yourself permission to ask for what you want. Like a
Hmm.
lot of people don't even do that. They're always like,
I
I don't want
know.
this, I don't want this, but you're asking like you're for what your intention is. Like I want to create an intention. I want to have fun, and then it happens. So I
Yes,
think
and
that's
it's so
something to
easy.
remember.
Well, and it's crazy because like I'll ask them like, well, what do you want? And they're like, oh, well, I don't know. Like I can't ask for that. I'm like, what? But it basically just goes back to the fact that people don't love themselves and they don't have enough worth to think that they deserve that. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me you want to create this, this, and this, but you can't ask for that? Like,
Right.
like, why the hell can you not ask for that? And they're like, oh, well, that would be selfish of me. I'm like, it would be selfish of you to try to manifest $300 tonight. It would be selfish of you to get $100 tip. And they're like, well, yeah, because then someone's giving me their $100. I'm like, because they want to. Like, that's the whole point is like, the universe brings the people that you need in it to manifest what you ask for. You don't then deny it. Like I'll see people like at work sometimes, like someone will come in and they'll want to share something and then an employee will be like, oh, no, 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 I can't take that. I'm like, and I'll tell them, I'm like, you take that. Like they want to give that to you. The universe is giving you that through that person. It's a message for you. You're creating that. Take that. If you don't take that, you're saying, no, I don't deserve it. And then guess what the universe does? Okay, she doesn't think she deserves it. I won't bring more of that because they think it's selfish of them to take it. And I'm like, no, that's the whole point. They wanted you to have it. So it blows my mind sometimes. I've had to do that with sometimes people I work with. A lady in particular, she's like, "Oh no," I'm like, "Hey, no, you that's they want to give that to you. You take that." And they're like, "Why?" She's like, "I can't do that." I'm like, "Okay, I guess not then." I don't know. I just think it's interesting. People, it's not about being selfish. It's about the universe is providing you with things through a person. If that wasn't there in front of you, it wouldn't be for you. Period.
Right.
It's not like you're
Yeah.
going and stealing from somebody. That's not okay. But if somebody's offering you something, that is a clear indication that is for you. And now you're going to say you don't want it? Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And remember, like, perspective is reality. Like, so giving and receiving, even though it appears to be opposite, it's actually the same. It's two sides of the same coin. So when someone's giving you money, you're receiving it, but the person that's giving you money is also receiving a sense of self-worth that they're able to help you. And then
Exactly.
you're giving that to them. So you could look at it that
Right.
way. Like I'm
Mhm.
I'm giving that person self-worth knowing that they can help another person.
Yeah,
You
they
know what I
like
mean?
that. Yeah, I know. People want to be giving. It makes it makes them feel nice to help out. Okay, well, thank you because I really needed that too. So it's like everybody's happy. And it's just like my dog. It's like such this illusion of like, oh no, I can't take that. I'm taking from them. But again, it's just beliefs. It all goes back to beliefs. And people don't think that they're worthy. And they won't, you could mention that to them and they'd be like, no, 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 it's not that I don't think I'm worthy. It's just that I don't want to take that from them. And I'm like, right, but why do you think that? You're not taking anything from them. They want you to have it. So what's the problem? It's not them. It's actually the way you value or do not value yourself.
Yeah. This is the shit they need to be teaching in schools.
I know.
This
That's
is
I wanted.
good.
I wanted to have. I wanted to have a school for conscious kids. Like, I mean, really, even if it's just like a daycare after school or something, just teach children like empowerment, manifesting, meditation, self love, compassion, relationships, communication. I have all these ideas. That's why I want money so that I can set it up, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'll have my little Corvette on the side.
Nice. Okay, well, is there anything else you wanted to touch on? Because we've been on this for, I think, over an hour now. So,
Yeah,
did we
we
miss
have.
anything?
No, I think we're good for now. We can do another one later.
Okay,
That,
so
that was fun.
again, is there anything, uh, any last messages you have for the people listening to this?
I guess the only message I have is that you are worthy and you've always been worthy and you came into this world worthy just by being here. That you don't have to try so hard and accomplish so much and do these things to be anybody. You already are it, and you've always deserved it, and you've always been loved.
Wow, that that's great. Yeah. So I want to thank everybody who tuned into this. If you made it through all of this, thank you. It's been a very interesting and enlightening conversation for me. We've had a lot of these conversations before without a camera recording it. So that's why me and Jess are such good friends. So I will say, if anyone wants to book a Reiki session with me, you can contact me. My website will be on my YouTube profile. I have a new website now. It's called benjaminreiki.com, and it has all my contact information there. And then I can put Jess's information in the description as well. So thank you
Thank you.
guys, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.